Hey everybody, my name is BlakJak and welcome to my review for Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy. Before we begin, I want to mention the aspects that I find makes a good video game. Those aspects are story, presentation, and gameplay. So this is a very simple tale, much like other games of its time period. The basic premise is that one day an unlikely duo go and disobey basic orders, like don't go to the clearly evil island that's filled with evil. Daxter, unfortunately, or rather fortunately, depends on how you look at it, falls into a pit of dark eco. And thus begins our journey to turn Daxter back. Except the only person capable of doing that just so happens to be the same person who wants to destroy the world by opening the dark eco silos of the world. So yeah, I guess that's more important than you, Daxter.
What?
But the thing I love about this game is the character interactions. The writing for this game is just flat out hilarious. The way all the characters interact with each other, or just the simple caricatures that you find throughout the game, are really fun and enjoyable, and the cast is a joy to watch especially. The way Max Casella, who plays Daxter by the way, and Warren Burton, Samos's actor, bicker always brings a smile to my face.
In green tarnation do you two want? I was... Don't tell me. Instead of heeding my wisdom, the two of you went mucking around in the only place that I told you not to go. Misty Island.
That's right, and then...
And, Daxter, you finally took a much-needed bath, but in a bathtub filled with dark eco.
Look, old man, are you gonna keep yapping, or are you gonna help me out of this mess?
I'm gonna keep yapping, because in my professional opinion, the change is an improvement. And besides, I couldn't help you if I wanted to.
Actually, I think Daxter alone might be the best character in this game. He interacts so well with everyone else in this game, and he's a total prick, and I fucking love him. For a silent character, Jak has a really strong personality. He doesn't say much other than... but his body language is on point.
Get to help the guy that turned me into a furball destroy the only person who can turn me back!
I think all the characters work really well together. Even Kira, played by Anna Gardano, has a really fun interaction with the main duo. I like how she's completely used to Daxter's bullshit and she just flat out ignores him half the time, while Jak and Kira have this romantic thing going on in the background. It's great. Gol and Maya, played by Dee Snider, hey wait a minute, that's pretty lit, and Jennifer Haygood were serviceable villains. You didn't see much of them, but as you play the game, you see bits and pieces of their plan coming into fruition. The little you did see of them was always interesting though. Honestly, I was getting some Sweet Home Alabama vibes though. Am I the only one? The story is simple at first, but it becomes semi-engaging as you progress through it. The thing I like about this game is that you don't necessarily have to pay attention to the story because the environments help tell you what's going on too. There's a nice sense of world building here. Speaking of the environment, this game has a wonderful aesthetic. Each area is unique, and I absolutely love that the world is interconnected. You can travel from the end of the game all the way back to the beginning and vice versa. It doesn't even really take that long to do so either, as long as you have the necessary amount of power cells you can do it. But, of course, you're going to need the power cells to get to the end anyway, so... I like that some levels even have you thwarting Gol and Maya's plans by, say, releasing the balloon that's pulling up an ancient robot, or saving a rock village from a giant boulder-throwing lurker. The character designs are really cool too. I like Daxter's Otso look, especially how expressive he is. Jak is a neat looking character with a unique green-yellow gradient hair and big old pointy elf ears. And he even has a little shoulder plate thing that Daxter can sit on like a parrot. There's some foreshadowing here, isn't there? Anyway, Gol and Maya look evil, which is fine. They are. And they look cool at least. Naughty Dog was always really good at animations. Every time you click the power cell, a fancy dancy little animation will play out. You may guess which one's my favorite. But it's not even the cutscenes that have really good animations, but even the game movements are especially brilliant. Everything is fluid, and I even like the little detail of Daxter being flung around and grabbing Jak's hair just so he doesn't get launched at the enemies during the spin kick move. This game has a really nice looking cartoony style that aged really well, and I think it even aged better than Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonist, despite that game coming out a year later. The sounds are really good too. They sound slightly less cartoony than that of Sly 1, but they fit really well within the game itself. The music reminds me of the original Crash Bandicoot games, which makes sense because Naughty Dog made those games, as well as John Mansell worked on their music with the Monado Musica company. So if you like the OG Crash music, you're gonna love Jak and Daxter's music. Some songs have a nice tropical feel, others are foreboding and glooming, and some of these tracks are just super fucking calming. But one thing I love about the music is the subtle changes that the tracks do depending on where you are or who you're talking to, which is a lovely touch. Jak and Daxter is a classic 3D platformer whose levels are pretty much open. Each hub area has a handful of levels that lets Jak run, jump, and even drive around in. There are even a couple of levels that allow you to use an animal companion called the Flut Flut. Jak has 2 main attacks on the ground and 2 attacks in the air. Jak has the spin kick, which can be performed on the ground as well as in the air. It's more of a defensive move. It's pretty safe to use, but you're not invincible when using it. While in the air, it can give you a little more lift and act as a triple jump, or allow you to hover a bit in the air. Jak has a punch attack. I don't use it too much because it slides you forward, but I feel like it's slightly homing. In the air, Jak has a diving punch, which you will use all the time to open up the scout boxes. Jak can crouch. While crouching, he has a super jump, which doesn't give you as much height as a normal double jump, so don't even use it. And there's even an uppercut. The uppercut can even be performed if you punch and then jump. The long jump can be done by rolling and then jumping. To roll, just crouch while moving. Just don't be an idiot and spam the crouch button on a moving platform like I do. It tends to long jump you into an abyss. There are 2 more mechanics, but there's not much to explain. There's the zoomer, which can move forward and is capable of using eco. We'll get there soon. It can also jump. Use it primarily to get from one hub area to another hub area, but there are a couple of levels that use a zoomer too. The other mechanic is the Flut Flut. It's a bird that can cover long distances with its flutter jump, as well as peck at enemies and dive bomb. It too can pick up eco. Well, what is eco? It's these energies that exist in the game's world, and they allow Jak, and by extension the other mechanics, to do special things. The green eco is health. There are small green eco, which raise the counter up by 1, and there are also big green ecos, which fill your health bar unit by 1. Side note, Jak can have 3 units of health at any given time, but if you also have 50 small ecos, you get a free hit. But if you don't have full health, 50 green ecos will fill 1 unit of health. The green eco vents fill your health to the maximum of 4 hits. If you're on the zoomer, the green vents not only heal you, but they can heal the plants in one specific level. Blue eco gives Jak and the zoomer a burst of speed. It also powers anything with the blue lightning bolt on it. Red eco increases your strength and gives you a fire attribute, but it's also very rare. Yellow eco allows Jak, the zoomer, and the Flut Flut to shoot fireballs. If you go into first person mode, you can have an easier time aiming and shooting things. Everything works really well. I wouldn't say the game is hard per se, but I will admit the platforming is challenging. That or I'm just really bad at video games. You know, the more I make videos on games, the more I come to the realization that I'm just really bad at video games. So you cannot hurt Mugshot in any way possible, and I don't show the blood. And then he takes me out, and that's pretty much, or sometimes down, in order to jump up.
Suspect is about 6 feet tall, average size.
Yeah, I'm not proud of that fact. The main point of the gameplay is to traverse through the levels and do a set of jobs in order to collect power cells. And while you play, you'll find some Precursor orbs that allow you to purchase power cells. There are 2,000 orbs and 101 power cells. Collect all the orbs and you get nothing! But they are needed to collect all 101 power cells, and if you get all those, you get a cliffhanger cutscene. So, nothing! Yay, nothing! At least this game is fun collecting all the power cells, and you do need some of them to progress through the game anyway. I think it's like 70 or something to get to the end of the game. I remember being upset at Assassin's Creed about having collectibles in there that amount to giving you absolutely nothing. But since I was enjoying playing this game, it didn't matter to me that collecting everything meant nothing. That's why games like Hurdy-Gurdy or Assassin's Creed kind of annoyed me with their collectibles. Either they forced you to collect all of them in order to beat the game, or they were mundane and it felt like the collectibles were just wasting your time. Jak and Daxter's collectibles may be mandatory, but you only need to select few out of the total. I think it was like 70 power cells to make it to the end of the game. Most of it you get by just buying them from the NPCs, and even the orbs you can miss quite a few. I think I had 470 orbs at the end of the game. so it doesn't bother me when this game's reward is a glorified nothing. Also, the manual is a cool map. Ratchet and Clank did something similar a year later, but I'll bring that up when we eventually get around to that series. I really enjoyed this game. The only thing I can think that can improve this game is if the villains had a little more interaction with the main duo, but only like one more interaction. Maybe it's just like at the end of the village and Gull and Maya are just like wreaking havoc or some shit, and Jak and Daxter don't know exactly who they are yet. You know, just something small. Something like just one more interaction with them. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Just one more. Would have been cool. Other than that, I highly recommend picking up Jak and Daxter for the PS2. I don't know how the remasters or the PS4 version are, but as far as the PS2 is concerned, definitely get it and definitely play it. Jak and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy, it's a 9.5 out of 10 from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next review. Peace.